Please welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the NBA Bit. You can see Bandy's ready. Bandy's locked in already. He just jumped in there. Hope everybody's having a nice... What are we on? Wednesday? Is it Wednesday already? Hope everybody's having a nice day. Enjoyed some basketball last night. That was a fun one, man. Listen, that series is not going 7, but I wish it was going like 11. I just want more Knicks Pacers. It's a lot of fun. We're going to talk about that. We'll get ready for tonight's episode. You might want to call that The Last of Us if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves fan. Then we'll have an old man hoops update. We'll get into some of the drama of the offseason. We'll have a lot of fun with it. But first and foremost, if it's your first time here, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. Whether it's your first or last time here, do me a favor, like the stream. Hit the notification bell, subscribe to the podcast, do all the things. Podcast number's been going up a little bit, boys and girls. Oh, also, now we'll shout that out at the end. We'll save it. Who do we got in the chat? Let's go. Happy National Brisket Day. Shout out Snoop Lou. Okay, Stone Cold boots on the ground was in the Indiana. You saw Pat McAfee just scream some stuff. That was fun. Happy birthday to D'Anthony Melton and Glenn Rice. Isn't that nice? Stubbs is here. Let's go. Stubbs, did you take down Splash Sports again last night? I looked like I was going to have a solo shipper there, which is pretty impressive on a one-game slate, but we didn't get there. And then Raven in here. Let's go. I think, are you a Rav Foreign? It's got to be for Raven. Anyways, hope you guys are off to a good start to the day. Let's get into it. Woo-wee! Tyrese Haliburton, man. That was something special, dude. I full transparency, missed the first quarter because your boy was balling on his own, which, again, we'll talk about later, but let's undefeated, baby. Undefeated regular season. So I missed the first quarter. Pull in, I would say probably like 9 minutes left in the second quarter. That's when I officially locked in while I was eating a little shrimp pad thai last night. Haliburton, that is the most in control of a basketball game I have seen from someone in a playoff performance in a long time. It reminded me, and this might feel blasphemous, people might get mad. It reminded me of like Game 6 LeBron against the Celtics when he was on the Miami Heat. Like just start to finish, even when this game got close late in the fourth, there at one point it like shrunk to a 6-point lead. At no point was I thinking they were going to lose this game. It just seemed like complete control of the pace. He wasn't like, I thought Haliburton was actually pretty good on defense too. Like I thought he was moving around a little bit. It was just, and to not turn the ball over, for the ball to be in his hands as often as it was, and not like Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes a point guard or Mike Conley, like the ball's in their hand a lot, but it's very like, I don't want to say slow, but it's methodical. They are playing at a breakneck pace the entire game. And for him to have 0 turnovers is pretty nuts. And yes, Siakam, man, Spicy P, the key to Siakam is every other game, man. Every other game, he's been incredible. Let's look at some of the stats. But I want to just focus on Haliburton here for a second before we talk about the Knicks. Tyrese finishes this game 5 for 12 from three. So not like the most efficient, but 5 triples. 11 for 23 from the field. But again, 8 of those 12 misses. 7 of those 12 misses were from behind the line. 32 points, 15 dimes, 12 boards. Also had 4 steals. Was a plus 16 out there. A plus 16. He was great. And then to the chat's point about Pascal Siakam. So he finished the game with 30 points. He went 3 for 4 from three. So he only hit 3 threes, but it seemed like Siakam hit 9 threes. It felt like every key moment he was knocking down a triple. And Spicy P was spicy with the fans, too. There was one in the corner he knocked down, and he turned around and gave the bench. I think, was he at the Knicks bench? He was talking his talk when he hit a corner three. Then again, when that game got to 6, you could see, I think he was like just above the break, knocks down another 3, puts it back up to 9. And Siakam was just great for him, man. He was really, really good. Nembhard, it's crazy. He only had 3 points, 1 for 2 from 3. I thought he hit more than that. Neesmith, again, man, the fact that his ankle was as funky as it was after game 4, for him to come out, after game 3, for him to come out in game 4 and just play 32 minutes. Again, he knocked down a couple of threes. He finished with 16. And then Benedict Mathurin, man, which, like, listen, 20 points in 12 minutes is crazy. You can't knock that. 20 points in 12 minutes. That's like, Lou Will, Jamal Crawford stuff. I'll be honest, man. I thought Mathurin was kind of crazy. Like, he just seemed like a wind-up toy that was, you spun the thing back. But it was like crazy one. It wasn't like a race car that would go straight. He's just like flying around, man. I don't know. Those Mathurin minutes seemed crazy, but he got to the line 11 times. I would say like 4 or 5 of those were in at the end of the game where they were just fouling to get somebody to the line. And then other than that, though, like Obi had 5. He hit a big 3 late where Haliburton just like, and we're about to pivot to the Knicks defense here. That 3 late, right, where it's an inbound play. I think there's only like 2.7 seconds left on the shot clock. I don't know how no one is covering somebody in that scenario. Halliburton throws a little bounce pass, Toppin doesn't even touch rim, knocks it down. That was a big shot for him. TJ McConnell played 19 minutes. He did TJ shit. Tony Bradley a plus 10, okay? That's how you know it was bad. Ben Shepherd only played 14 minutes. He got cooked out there. Miles Turner at 13. Just a full Pacers experience, man. And now we have to get to the Knicks because as great as Haliburton was and as the Pacers played, this was a winnable game for New York. And once again, they put themselves in a situation where they're down a lot in the second half, and then you have to pitch a perfect game when that happens. There's no room for error, and unfortunately, the Knicks were giving you errors on both sides of the ball, right? So they had 17 turnovers that I believe turned into 20 or 22 points right there. That's the game right there. 17 turnovers to the Pacers 11. And again, 20 points. I think they outscored them in the fast break points by like 1 million. And like Brunson had 31 in this game, only 5 assists. You had OG Anunoby who only hit 1 3, and the 1 3 OG Anunoby hit, I'm sure you remember this now. The game's kind of in the balance. I think it was like a 13 or a 12-point lead. Like the shot clock's winding down. OG hits this like prayer 3-pointer where he's like draped defensively, somehow knocks that down. He finished with 22. Cat had 24 and 12. I want to give Karl-Anthony Towns some love again before we really dunk on these Knicks. Cat like only took 2 3-point attempts in this. Maybe you want a few more. What I thought was really impressive is when this game was starting to get a little out of hand, Karl-Anthony Towns put his head down and just went to the rack a handful of times. Got to the line 9 times. I thought he was good. Mitchell Robinson was a minus 20. Mitch Rob was a minus 20, 6 points, 7 boards. Josh Hart had 12, 11, but he also had 5 turnovers. And like one of the things that was just killing them, like Josh Hart, who I think is a really good cerebral player. He's a hustle player, right? Does a little bit of everything. He was just getting smoked on back cuts, like time and time again. There were so many buckets that were just, it felt lazy. And you want to know why? I think these guys are tired. I think they're tired. And everybody was crediting Knicks or in Tibbs for being like, well, you're going to make the necessary adjustments. I don't know, man. And maybe this is just after the fact, but I wasn't giving them credit after they won game 3 either. I don't know. You have a starting five that is played as your starting five the entire season. Every single game those five were available, that was your starting five. And then you lose 2 games, which one of them you just completely blew, right? One of them was an absolute meltdown, up 14 with like 2 minutes left at home, and you blow that game. Game 2, it was still a close game the whole time. And I know the plus minus was gross, but for game 3, where your season's on the line, you're basically like, hey, man, what if we put Mitchell Robinson in the starting lineup? And then all the brainiacs were like, well, Mitchell, right, like if you start him, you can't get him into the bonus right away. But it just is not like all of a sudden you're taking somebody's role, you're putting it in a snow globe, you're shaking it up, and then being like, hey, can you do this? And then like McBride's not out there. Like he's only playing 15 minutes. DeLon Wright all of a sudden is getting minutes. Landry Shamit's getting minutes. I don't know, man. Yeah, and like, listen, DeLon Wright and Landry Shamit, weirdly enough, their best 5 last night was with those 2 guys on the floor, which is crazy. Also, I see News Swami in there, Lakers in 5. There you go, News Swami. Thanks for tuning in. It feels like a panic move, right? It does feel like a panic move. Now, like when the Celtics started moving their starting 5 around in the playoffs, that had more to do with like Kristaps Porzingis barely being alive. I just think all of a sudden you're letting your 5 know, hey, we don't have confidence in you anymore. Now, Josh Hart seems to be like mentally strong enough to not let that affect him. I thought he's still, outside of getting cooked on defense last night, Josh Hart's still doing Josh Hart things. But you know what I'm saying though? Like you're telling your 5, like, hey, we don't. You know, the thing that got us here, we don't believe in that anymore. We have to panic. Now, I think that is credit to the Pacers and how they play basketball. Their style of fast-paced offensive running, and it's just like balls to the wall from start to finish, right? And they're never taking their foot off the gas. Whether it's TJ McConnell getting it on the break and just being like, hey, I'm going to run as fast as I can to the paint and see if I can take one of these weird jumpers. Whether it's Nembhard with a quick outlet to Siakam, like the pace is constantly frenetic. And the Knicks that's not their style of play. Their style of play is Brunson to dribble the hell out of the ball, then get into the paint and just be like pivot foot, glass, right? That's their style of game. And now when you're asking these guys to defend at this fast pace, and you can't help but then mirror the pace, right? When you're playing another team that's flying up and down, you almost feel like you have to do it. You have to run with them on both sides. And now you can just tell they're not built for that. They are gassed. They look tired, and that like shown itself in the way that they defended or the way that they didn't defend. And I think like the problem going forward for the Knicks, and I don't think it's panic mode. Like I think a lot of times, a team gets to the conference finals and they lose and they're like, we got to blow it up, man. They don't have enough. The Eastern Conference sucks. And so the Knicks, like they can run it back and still be right there, and maybe they won't be the favorites. Maybe it's another thing where this is their ceiling. Maybe that's not bad. Maybe the ceiling of being a Final Four team in the NBA is not bad. But when you have 2 of your 5, and I don't even want to dunk on Cat because I thought Karl Anthony Towns did an okay job defending. Like he is defending as best he can right now. To me, the biggest hole, but having Brunson and Cat out there at the same time defensively is hurting them. And then the lack of Mikal Bridges, man. I saw a great tweet by John Metler. Actually, let me go find it if Twitter allows me to fucking look at tweets anymore. But Metler, who is a really sharp betting guy over on Covers, but he had a very funny tweet last night that was making fun of Mikal Bridges. Let's see if we can see the tweet. Okay, it looks like we can. Come on. It was really fun making fun of Mikal Bridges. Here it is. I'm going to share this right now. Apologies for that. Let's look at this. And it's just like for the podcast listeners, you don't see it. It says Mikal Bridges all alone for an easy layup. And then it's a photo of Kawhi Leonard on the Spurs taking like an insane angle, fadeaway jump shot. And it does feel that way, man. Mikal, it seems like he makes everything very difficult. And so the Knicks are going to put themselves in this situation, assuming, again, that they don't win 3 consecutive games, that they have to look in their mirror and be like, what do we do? What do we do? Mitchell Robinson, I think, is going to attract a lot of interest as a big guy, where you look around the league and there's so many teams that are going to be in need of a big man. speaking of new Swami and Lakers in 5, like the Lakers, I'm sure are going to be in the market for somebody like Mitch Robb. And I like, so now all of a sudden you're getting a little bit worse defensively. They still have Precious Achiuwa back there who, listen, how is Precious Achiuwa only playing 2 minutes, man? I kind of like Precious. I think he should be getting some burn. I get why he's not, I guess, in this series, but it is just kind of nuts for them not to be able to do anything with Precious. I would listen to a little bit of Bill Simmons and Zach Lowe last night. Twitter follower Zach Lowe. That they, like, do they move off of like a Bridges thing? Do they move off of like Cat? And I think that's probably too soon to be doing that and like too panicky. I like, again, this Knicks team won a lot of games. They are in the Eastern Conference Finals. They took out the Celtics. There is a lot to hang your hat on heading into the offseason. I don't think Tibbs has done a great job this postseason or this season. Like maybe if you didn't play your guys 42 minutes in a game when you won by 25 in April or the end of March, maybe you'd have a little bit more for this Pacers series. You'd have a little bit more legs. But yeah, I don't know. And regulators said they have to pay Bridges this year. Yeah, I believe Bridges is off of the books after this year, I think. So, maybe they do, or he has one more year and then he's off the books, something like that. But they would have to decide if they want to extend him or not. And so Bridges could be a guy that they move off of, but it's just wild to be like, the guy that we gave up 5 first-round picks for, or as Josh Hart like to say, a bunch of high schoolers. Then you've like one season and then you're moving them off again. I don't know. But the Knicks will have a lot of tough decisions this offseason. But guess what? They're not alone. I mean, everybody else is going to be in a similar situation where they're like, do we pay the tax? Do we pay this guy? Do we just rebuild? Or it's the Eastern Conference. It sucks. We could still be, a favorite to come out of the East. But this Knicks team is just not, they don't defend at a high enough level to get over this hump. And maybe I want to give them credit because, again, they did knock out the Celtics, right? And who do they play in the first round? The Pistons, right? But I'm just like, you keep putting yourselves in these holes, man, where like you can't go down 15-20 every single game and just assume you get over there. Yeah, regulators said get ready for the Giannis and Knicks rumors. I mean, Simmons was starting that last night where he was like, what if it was, oh gosh, was it Bridges to, I forget where it was sending Bridges somewhere. Cat, it was like Bridges for some picks. The picks come back and then it's a bunch of picks and Cat to the Bucks for Giannis. But I think we're going to see a lot of rumors for stuff, and then Giannis stays with Milwaukee. But we'll save that for like another segment because we got to keep going. Let's keep giving the Pacers love here. So Indiana is now 1 game away from the NBA Finals, and I just want to go back to this box score here for a second. Look at how many dudes played 10 minutes plus to double-digit minutes. So their starters, like this is a playoff game. This is, I would argue, a must-win game because after winning 2 in New York, I don't think you can lose both games at home. Then we'll go back to New York. Just like light your home court advantage on fire, right? I don't think you can do that. So this is a must-win game. Their best player played 38 minutes. Their second best player played 35 minutes. And then it was just 33, 32, 29. Tibbs must be looking at that being like, you can't do that. Like the Jimmy Butler meme. You can't do that. You got to play 45 at least. And then you got Toppin played 18, Bradley played 10, McConnell played 19, Mathurin played 12, Shepard played 14. That's 10 guys in double-digit minutes. And in any other team, in any other playoff, you'd be like, hey, you can't do that. If you're playing 10 guys, you don't have 7 guys, right? That would be like a common thing to say. And then here we are. That's going to do it. That's going to get you there. And OKC, honestly, a similar thing, right? When you think about the Thunder starting 5 and then the guys that come off the bench and play double-digit minutes, whether it's Caruso, Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe. Well, Joe and Wiggins aren't getting the same amount of minutes, but you know what I'm saying? Like they have Jay Will. They've got dudes out there. And it is kind of nuts to think that maybe that's what this new NBA looks like, where it's too hard to pay multiple big guys, right? That you have to have a deeper team. Like that's how you play. The Pacers, it makes a little bit more sense because of the style of ball they play. Regulators saying Bradley was a huge surprise. I will be completely transparent with you. You guys know I do this every single day. All right. I'm like eating, breathing, sleeping basketball, whether I'm listening to podcasts, doing my own show, reading newsletters, whatever. I had no idea Tony Bradley was on the Pacers until he came into that game. I literally didn't know who it was. I assumed it was Jarris Walker subbing in for Thomas Bryant in what was it, game 2 when he got into foul trouble. Was stunned to learn. I was like, that's not Jarris Walker. Who is this man? Had to Google. Had no idea Tony Bradley was on this team. But if it wasn't Bradley, it would have been Thomas Bryant playing double-digit minutes. So it's just crazy how deep Carlisle's bench is willing to go. And like, give Rick Carlisle some credit, man, because I thought he's been coaching his ass off. I really thought he's been doing or really think he's been doing a great job. He seems to be pressing the right buttons at the right time. I thought he's had good timeout management. I thought he's had good challenge management, although I thought he had a little funky one last night. But the Pacers, man, it's a cool story. And I saw regulators say small market championship coming. You guys want to know a little fun fact? I forget where to give this credit to. So I apologize, but it definitely didn't come from me. My assumption it's from like the Ringer NBA show, or maybe it's from the Zach Lowe show. Currently, and I'm sure some airline will fix this, but currently there are no direct flights from OKC to Indiana. Isn't that funny? Now, a lot of those charter boys, I'm sure it'll be fine for the teams, but I was just thinking like media, fans trying to go to an away game or whatever, no direct flight. It would be really funny if like no airline is willing to do it except for Frontier. That would be hilarious. If Frontier's like, we got this, don't worry. Yes, you have to pay for your seat. You have to pay for one individual peanuts. You have to do all that stuff. Would be hilarious. But that's some real small market shit. Speaking of airlines, by the way, if you guys have not watched the second season of The Rehearsal with Nathan Fielder, that I finally watched the finale yesterday. It's only like 6 episodes, I think. That was an insane thing. And I can't even spoil it if I tried. I just highly recommend it. I'm still uncomfortable. It was crazy. You should go check it out. Anyways, regulator said Melo Carlisle has become a much better coach than Bitter Carlisle. Yeah. As he continues to look more and more like Jim Carrey, he seems to be more and more in control. For the Knicks here, as we come home, I wouldn't be stunned if they got out there and took on the Pacers in game 5 and got a W. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes back to Indiana. I really don't see a world in which they win 3 consecutive games. I really don't see it. And same thing with Minnesota as we get closer to that game tonight. I don't even know if there's too much to break down. We did it yesterday. I listened to a couple of other things that gave Anthony Edwards a little bit more criticism than I was willing to, where they were just like, not that he should have been taking like 20 plus shots a game in that, like, especially in that most recent game, but that his decision making was pretty bad in the second half. And that he was just kind of like not moving without the ball enough. And I'm here for that. I'll listen to that. But I can't see, like, the fact that you got 20 plus points from both Dante DiVincenzo and Nickeil Alexander-Walker in a game that's 40 plus points from 2 guys on your bench, and you still didn't get the W. That's it. You can't, like, that's the game you win. And when you don't win that game, you don't win the series. And then similarly, like, and again, I know this is the same talking point. You're probably sick of me saying this. Same thing with Knicks Pacers, where you lose that first game. Game 1, again, up 14 with like 2.5 minutes left, and you lose that game. We talked about it with the Clippers early on, right? Against the Nuggets. If you now have to beat them 5 times instead of 4. It's hard enough to win a series when you have to win 4 out of 7. Now you're going to win 5 out of 7? No, it's not happening. Regulator said 750 miles, so a 10-hour bus trip between cities. There is a train ride, but it's listed as a 40-hour trip. Yeah, that's got overnight stops. We're going to be sleeping. I don't even know I can't figure out geography right now. In Illinois, maybe it goes through Illinois. I don't know, whatever. I wanted to go over to some of the crazy stuff that happened here last night. And I normally am not a McAfee guy, but there was a clip that I wanted to share from McAfee, who had Shams on. Let me see if I can find it here, because he shared so many different clips. It's a lot of Peter Schrager right now. Should have had this ready to go. Now he's talking to Hans Perez. I don't know if that's useful at all. Where is this Shams piece here? And God, man, I should have just gone to NBA Central. That was probably easier. You know what? That is what we're going to do. We're going to go to NBA Central. But the one thing I will shout out for for Pat McAfee. He does seem to have like I like that he's doing the show like outside of Indiana. A lot of live guests here. All right, here we go. I got the clip. It's a 1-minute clip. Let's share screen over there. Sorry for all that vamping. All right, here we go. This is This is Shams on Pat McAfee. Hopefully you can hear this.
Am I accurate in saying that it's going to be an active summer for the NBA?
Pat, this is the most, I think, anticipation team executives have had over an offseason. I think this is going to be the craziest offseason of I don't want to say all time. We just came off a trade deadline. I think it was the craziest of all time. I think this offseason might be the most craziest ever because I think there's so many.
Most craziest ever.
That's crazy. MCE.
Most craziest ever, dude.
Most craziest ever. Probably grammar police is like it's craziest ever.
No, you got your point across. It's the most craziest ever.
Because I think what you have right now is you have the parity in the league.
Sucks.
It's so thin right now. Like as far as the thin line of what you can win a championship or you might be falling into the lottery. And I think the ability to go out there and improve your team and get there to championship level, I think that's on the minds of everyone around the league. So how can you elevate your team?
So I'm pretty surprised by that clip from Shams, and like maybe he's just doing some clickbaity stuff so that people are tuning in. I don't think that's normally his game. I think about that Giannis report from a couple weeks ago that we made fun of on here, like multiple shows we made fun of that, where he was like, breaking news, he's taking a meeting. And we made fun of that. This feels a little different. I felt the exact opposite. I think we even said this the other day that I was like, this might be a pretty boring offseason where we're talking about like, I wonder where Drew Holiday or Kristaps Porzingis goes. But that was like the big, and we knew that like Houston was a team that could be messing around a little bit. But that makes me think we're going to see some fireworks before the draft or like right around the draft, because I think a lot of these moves, if they are big show-stopping moves, it has to be one of these teams that's high up in the draft, right? Whether it's the 76ers, which, by the way, if you missed it on the Elite Fantasy Sports channel that we dropped the Sixers video, labeled it Philly Justice yesterday. So go check that out. But I wonder if it's one of those teams high up. Is it Philly that is like, Philly's like, hey, we're going to move off our third pick and like Kelly Oubre, and we're going to go try to get a win now piece right now to pair it up with Paul George, Maxey, McCain, and Joel Embiid if he's going to play more than 45 games, right? Is that a move? Is it Houston? Houston, who we know has the 12th pick. They have Reed Shepherd, who was the second pick last season, who barely played this year. You've got your Tyree Easons, your Jalen Greens, your Alpi Senguns. Are they going to package something together to go make a move? Is it Giannis? Like, is it? Because I think right now, if I had to put my money down, Giannis is going back to Milwaukee. But maybe, Giannis sees what's going on in New York. New York gets bounced in 5. They're like, okay, maybe we do need. We know we have Brunson here on a really favorable deal. We know we still have Cat here under. Maybe we go move Cat to get Giannis, and we just roll with Giannis and Brunson, and Giannis saves some of the defensive issues that Brunson has. I don't know. Is it San Antonio? That's the other team that I keep thinking about. Spurs have the 2nd pick and the 14th pick, I think. They have 2 lottery picks. We know they traded for Fox, so I'm assuming they're in win now mode with De'Aaron Fox. They've got Castle, the reigning rookie of the year. Obviously, Wembanyama sounds like he's healthy and has resumed on-court activity, so he should be ready to go at the start of the season. Do they make a move? Is Dallas still out there poking and prodding around? And like Drew Holiday to Dallas isn't like that's not like, oh my God, breaking news. But I was reading some stuff about that, about Drew potentially going over to Dallas and maybe for like Daniel Gafford. And then obviously the Brooklyn Nets would have to be included as a 3rd team. So I don't really know, but I was really surprised by that. Like, I agree with the thesis of what he's saying, where like the margins for error are just so thin, where you're a team that's like favored to finish top 4, and then all of a sudden you're 9th or 10th, and now you're in the lottery. I do think that is true. I think there is some truth to that. But I just think I don't know how many teams have like real flexibility with the second apron to be aggressive making moves like that, because it has to be like the perfect scenario to like make these moves happen. So that to me, and there's only a handful of teams that have those moves, right? The Brooklyn Nets are one of them. I think the Sixers do have a little bit of flexibility. The one issue the Sixers run into is they don't have a lot of those mid-range contracts. It's all like Embiid and Paul George make $50 million, Maxey makes like $35 million, and then everybody else is like sub 10 or like 9 or something like that, right? And you need those like $20 million salaries in order to make some real moves. So I'm just like, maybe he's talking about the Warriors. Is he saying like, is Draymond Green finally going to be removed from Golden State? I don't think that really is the case because he's still such an important part of the defensive side of things. I mean, even the Lakers, like I know the Lakers want to get a big, and we know that Austin Reeves, who he keeps getting floated around in a ton of trade rumors, like maybe he makes a move. Obviously, Kevin Durant is going to be moving, but are we saying the craziest offseason of all time if KD moves? Like that happens once every 3 years, right? So I really don't like, I don't know if the chat has any thoughts on that. Let me know. But I'm having a hard time figuring it out. Again, unless it's the Spurs who want to like really cash in their chips now, or if it's the Rockets. Those seem to be like the two teams to me that could be really making a splash, or the Knicks if they overreact to getting bounced in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I don't know. I think Orlando is a team to watch too. I did a video today on the Celtics Daily. Also, real quick, I'm not plugging this like you should go see it, but like only subscribe to it if you are a Celtics fan. But we've been doing these Celtics Daily videos now. I think I told you about it when we first started for almost 6 weeks. Without promoting it. And look, guys, we're starting to cook here. 151 subs, views on videos slowly going up here. We got a couple over the 3K range, couple over 1K. This was like yesterday. So go check that out, by the way, if you haven't. But one of the things we were talking about is like, could Orlando be a team that's interested in adding like a Kristaps Porzingis to add some shooting to the outside while also giving yourself some front court depth, so it's not just Wendell Carter or Goga Bitadze? Or are you moving on to somebody, or even like a Drew Holiday would make some sense too? Because like, again, I know Holiday, people probably have a bad taste in their mouth about Drew from like his postseason performance. But again, he like took a back seat offensively on purpose because of the team. Like he can still hit those corner threes at a pretty high clip and is still a solid defender. And I think he'd make a ton of sense with Orlando. But Orlando also has enough draft capital and salaries of like those mid-range guys to kind of like pair something together and go make a big splashier move. And then there's the Memphis Grizzlies, who that's another team that nobody's talking about right now because they don't have a high draft pick and they've been out of the postseason so long that we're talking about other things. But they really don't have a clear path forward. Like, are they going to run it back and just come back with Ja, Bane, and Triple J? Or are they just like, you know, in the words of Ja Morant, are they going to like throw a grenade in there and move things around? Also, if you guys didn't see it, I know this is a little baseball talk, but Ronald Acuna came back and then immediately started hitting some bombs. And his home run celebration right now is the grenade toss. A+. I said this before Ja started doing the grenade toss. I was like, you know what? Put the guns away. Like, if you're going to do it, do something crazy. You know, do like a rocket launcher, bazooka, do like landmines. Grenade is great. I think a grenade is great. I want that to be infectious. I want more teams doing it. Like, that should be a football celebration. Although maybe they already do that in football. But either way, I love that. I want more of that. But anyways, I don't have any other like off-season stuff. I don't know how you guys are feeling it. Yeah, the bow and arrow was great. I'm pretty sure they got rid of that, right? Because wasn't that Jamal Murray used to do that? Wesley Matthews used to do that. Wesley Matthews, speaking of torn Achilles, shout out Wesley Matthews. He was something when he was on the Blazers before he got hurt. That was a lot of fun. Well, let me see if I missed anything else. I think Chris Paul is somebody interesting. I wonder if he goes to Dallas to just. Dallas is going to make a move for a point guard. They got to get somebody else. It can't just be Din Shitty. And you know Daniel Gafford wants to go get paid, so he's going to be moved. Another Drew Holiday destination that came up that I thought was kind of interesting. Not interesting, but like, what about Drew Holiday for DeMar DeRozan? You know, just like kind of move that around. Any thoughts? I don't know. Probably not. Old man hoops. Yeah. Undefeated, baby. Undefeated regular season. 7-0. The God Squad. 7-0. We're on to the playoffs. We got a week off. Only 4 teams make the playoffs. The 1 seed secured. 1 seed secured. It was a battle last night, overtime thriller. We were a little shorthanded. And I got to tell you, I got to hit the treadmill over the next 2 weeks or the bike or something. I was gassed last night. Didn't have a lot left in the tank. I've been having to play a little bit more aggressive defense than I like to, which just wears me out. I feel like the Knicks. I feel like Josh Hart. Although I wasn't getting back cut. I wasn't. But yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah, if you saw the pass on Instagram, woo! Actually, I think we put it in the Discord. I'll show it. I'll show the pass. I will show the pass right now. I think I put it in the Discord, right? Did I do it? Let's see. Yeah, I did. Let's see. Can I blow that up? All right. Let's share screen here. Let's do it. We do need to do some sprints. I know this is why you guys tune in. So let's see if I can do this. Can you guys see the Discord right now? All right, let's blow that up. All right, here we go. Ready? Look at this show and the go. Ready? Here we go. This guy also was huge. The thing about this team, all these dudes, except for the dude like way over there, are pretty tall. Their closeouts were crazy. But here we go. Ready? Come on. One more time. It's a 4-second clip. One more time. Show. Go. Whoop. Come on. There we go. God Squad, baby. God Squad. Gave it to him. How many? No turnovers last night. 0 turnovers last night. But you want to know why? It's because I wasn't handling the ball a ton. I was pretty much a corner 3 bro last night. Corner 3 bro. I was staying in the corners and then just doing a lot of just woo, doing a lot of that. I was clapping for the ball a lot. Didn't get it a ton. But it doesn't matter. We were undefeated, 7-0. We turned into listen, we had to last season we were taking like 12 shots a game. This season, probably only 5 shots a game. And I think that's a good sign. I'd rather be a role player on a winning team than Tyler Hero. Hey, let's do a Hero drop just so we can make fun of him and take a drop so I can take a sip of water. So let's talk about Vegas here for a second, guys. Summer League, we're just like a month and a half away, about 6 weeks, I think. And the crew is assembling. Right? So we've got, if you are new to this, if you're new to the channel, we go to Summer League every year. This is our 5th consecutive year. We'll be making our way downtown, walking fast. July 10th to the 14th, we will be in Viva Las Vegas. We will be staying out. Some of us will be staying at the MGM Grand, but you can stay wherever you want. On Friday, I believe is the 11th, we'll be going to some Summer League. That's the first day. We like to go to the first day. We'll be going to some games. Saturday, our guy Patty Coyne put together a little bit of a cabana over at the MGM Grand pool. So we're going to be hanging out at the pool on Saturday. And then you have the option if you would like to go to some games later. We'll probably do a happy hour of sorts, either on Friday or Saturday. We'll go back to Beer Park where we'd like to hang out. We'll actually do it this year, Common Man, not like last year. I'm sure there'll be some. We actually have some tickets to give away. We have some Summer League tickets for Friday and I think for Saturday that we'll be able to give away thanks to our friends at So Rare. Might have some merch for y'all as well. We got a press pass, I think, for Summer League this year. So it's gonna be a really good time. If you've been on the fence about going, I highly recommend. I mean, obviously Vegas is expensive, but the tickets to Summer League are actually pretty cheap. If you've never been, it honestly feels like a professional AAU tournament where it's all held at where UNLV plays hoops. So like there'll be a game in their main gym where like their games actually happen. And then there's a second game that's like in the same building. It's like in their practice facility. It feels like you're at a high school game. So they got 2 games running concurrently throughout the entire day. And it's like $60 usually to get into the door. And then you can stay all day if you want. And the games start usually noon Pacific time all the way till 7, I think is the last one that plays. And then like food and drink inside the arena are actually relatively cheap, which isn't too bad as well. So I would love to have more people out there. So if you're into it, our guys Steve and Justin from the 89 Cavs are going to be out there. Common Man, yeah, he's going to be out there. Boston Base is going to be out there. Borland, Jeb's going to be out there. JJL the GOAT, which, by the way, if you are connecting and collecting fans, I believe JJL is on their most recent episode. So shout out the GOAT. But yeah, yeah, I think I said Boston based. It's going to be a good hang. So would love to come on out. Come on out. It's going to be a good time. Can't believe it's our 5th consecutive year going too. That's kind of nuts. So no live show this year. We're not going to do a live show. Just gonna hang. Just gonna hang with my bros. All right. Also, my wife. Kelsey's going to be out there. My brother-in-law, Rye man, he's going to be out there. So we're going to have a good crew. Come hang. Come hang. I'm excited for it. It's right around the corner, man. Offseason came at us fast. I don't know. Do you guys have anything else you want to get into? Is there anything else we need to cover? It's when we only got one game a night. I mean, it's kind of hard to preview game 5s when it's a 3-1, and it just seems to be so clear that OKC is the better team. Minnesota squandered that chance. I think OKC puts it away tonight. Listen, I'd bet Chet, not financial advice, Chet over 2 threes tonight. 2 plus 3s for Chet. 2 plus 3s for Case and Wallace. 8 plus dimes for SGA. There you go. There's your parlay. Did we talk about Top Shot yet? No, there are going to be some Top Shot. Well, I kind of just did. I said go check out the Connecting and Collecting podcast. No, we didn't talk about Top Shot yet, but we'll have some Top Shot bros out there for Vegas. Snoop Loop, when are you coming to Vegas, man? When are you going to be out there? Let's go. I need Snoop Loop out there. I need John W out there. Pacers in 5. He said it was always Pacers in 5. Let's get John W out there. Come on. Grow up. Yeah, I haven't been watching too many of the draft workouts. I watched a little bit of the combine stuff, regulator, but that was it. Bring your 2 and 4-year-old, Snoop. Who cares? I'll pay for a babysitter. But yeah, I've been watching some of the draft workout stuff. I just can't get too hyped about that. When we get a little bit closer to the draft, I'm more interested to see if teams are going to make some draft moves. That's what I'm more interested in, if they're going to be moving off of some picks. And I'm excited for some offseason acquisitions, but I don't know. I don't really know. Anything else you guys want to get into? That Vegas babysitters actually sounds like a business plan. You know what I mean? If you want to come out to Vegas but you have kids, do you need somebody to watch your kids? Hi, I'm Mike Zakarian, professional Vegas babysitter. That's pretty good, right? That's pretty good stuff. Let's see. Anything else we got to hit here? But I want to make sure I covered everything. 42 minutes. Again, some off-season stuff for your boy over here. If you haven't checked out Elite Fantasy Sports, let's go over to that channel to show you what this is the type of thing we're going to be firing out this offseason until the drafts. Once best ball starts, we'll start messing around with some best ball content for the NBA. But until then, we're going to be doing videos like this one right here, this Philly Justice, where we're going to get, we're kind of like only 72 views. Come on, everybody, grow up. We're going to be doing some stuff here to get a feel for the off season and different teams' needs. I'm going to be focusing on some of the more interesting teams. Like I think Philly could make some moves. I'm interested in that. Like Houston, San Antonio, some of the spots that we talked about earlier today. So go check that stuff out if you haven't. I'm going to be trying to put 2 or 3 of those up a week. And then speaking of that off season, I know I've mentioned this a couple of times already. So who cares? You might not care about this, as Marco said, nobody cares. Starting, I think in June, which would be next week, we're going to be doing the NBA bit. I don't know if I wait till no, I think we do it before the finals. Yeah, we'll start next week. Every Monday and Thursday, we will have this show. And instead of doing it 9 to 10 a.m., we're just going to go 9 to noon. We're going to be doing these 3-hour blocks. We're going to have some guest book. We've already lined up a couple of them. And yeah, we're just going to do that for the offseason. We're going to see how it goes. And if we find some success in that, we're going to continue with that into the regular season next year. And I think what we'll do in the regular season is do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I know I'm constantly shifting this stuff around, but the YouTube gods, the YouTube algorithms tell you you got to stream for over 2 hours, and then everybody finds it. So that's what we have to do. Anybody else? What else? You guys have anything else for me? Pacers in 5, Thunder in 5. When is the game 1 of the NBA Finals? Let's see. How long are we going to have to wait? Let's see. Game 1 of the NBA Finals 2025. Let's see what date that is. Game 1 is June 5th. So, all right, if both teams close out, if the Thunder close out tonight and the Pacers close out on the 29th, we will have a full week off. A full week off. All right, we need these away teams. Well, I guess the Knicks will be home. We need these teams that are down 3-1 to get a W so we have a little bit more basketball. We have a couple of contests on Splash Sports tonight, by the way. If you haven't been doing that, we get a couple of contests over there. We've got a $5 one and a $10 one. Those have been fun. Shout out our guy Stubbs, who's been on a heater. We almost took it down last night. We did not. But if you haven't signed up for Splash Sports yet, go do it. Go do it. Can we refer a friend? Let's refer a friend. Let's refer a friend. Copy the link. Come join it. Are you going to dedicate an hour for Man on the Street? No. I don't know. Maybe we could do. I was thinking too, like when we get into the regular season, I was thinking about doing like some paywall stuff on the days that we're not doing shows. And so I was trying to think of like a couple of fun bits just for the members, like the $199 or whatever the membership is. We'll come up with some stuff. We will come up with some stuff. Anybody watching any good TV? I've been staying with Mobland. I've been staying with Mobland on Paramount Plus. That's actually been a lot of fun. I enjoy that. Shout out Tom Hardy. I'm enjoying that one. Also I mentioned The Rehearsal. If you haven't seen The Rehearsal, guys, Rehearsal's nutso stuff. Go see The Rehearsal. That's it. I gave up on The Last of Us. I know the finale just happened, but I watched the first 3 episodes. Like the second episode of The Last of Us was awesome. And then after that, I was like, I just can't do this, man. I can't do this. I don't know if there's that. Welcome to Wrexham's back. I'm watching that. And then Taskmaster on YouTube. I think that's it. You watched a Bluey episode yesterday you hadn't seen yet. There you go, Snoop Blue. That's the good stuff right there. That's the good stuff. All right. I think that's our cue. Once we start talking about Bluey, we got to wrap it up. I appreciate everybody hanging out today. Hope you have a nice little Wednesday. Go check out the Celtics Daily, the Elite Fantasy Sports. Also, you know what? I will shout out one more thing. DJ Local, our guy DJ Local, in the baseball streets. We love DJ. He started his own baseball YouTube channel, and I love it. It's very different. You don't have to listen to my dumbass talk. It's called Baseball Go Far. I'm going to share a link right now, but it'd be nice to go support our guy DJ Local. He did a video yesterday that's just the top 10 exit velocity home runs so far. It's pretty good stuff. It's just kind of clips with some stats while it's happening. He's got another one coming soon, I think. He's got 4. Let's go subscribe from this channel. He's got 5 subscribers now. Go check that out if you haven't. We love to support our guy, DJ Local. But all right, let's call it. I hope everybody has a nice little day. We will be back tomorrow with Thunder and some Wolves. We'll get ready for Game 5 of Pacers and Knicks. And then we'll find some other stuff to yell about. See you in Vegas.